Okay.
Mr. Rogers.
Hi, children. I'm from the Marine.
It's on.
Main frame? Okay. Hi, this is Michael MacGyver Palladini, sans thumb. Shut up, son. Today we're working on my son's car here, and we bought it for a song from a tow company. It was abandoned, blew a head gasket, and my son here and I saw it as an opportunity for sink a few $100s in it, and we'll have him a nice car that he can count on. What we're fixing to do today is we've already got it pulled apart and got the head off and sent it off and got it back. Now we're going to go back together with it. So called my buddy Daddy Tech up here, and I guess this is his shout out, and let him come over here and shoot it so he'll have some more how-to stuff. Not that anybody would bother replacing a head gasket on a Kia, but in this situation where it's a 2002 and the car's in really good shape, it's worth spending the money on, and he'll have a really good car. So,
you know, when he says few hundred, it's a relative term.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, we figure you're gonna have what, maybe 2,500 in it when you're all done.
So you do what?
Yeah, 2,500.
I thought we were gonna stick with like 1,500. That means we still got like another grand to go. Where's that coming from?
Oh, over top of the. I'm talking about including what you paid for the car.
Yeah, 600 plus 500 for the head, and then like the 200 for the extra parts. So I'm only up to like.
Oh yeah, well, okay, but you know.
1,500.
All right, whatever. You know, we go over budget a little bit. Yuck, yuck.
Anyway,
Anyway,
to get a mat for dummies book for you. Also
Yeah.
measurements,
well,
blade size.
yeah, and you know, he's giving me a ration because, you know, I always rag on him about paying attention and all this, that, and the other, you know, as any parent would do with a teenage child. But now y'all are just going to have to put up with it because he's going to be ragging the crap out of me, and I have to take it like a good little bitch because I always ragged him, and the one time I failed to pay attention and cut myself, now I'm going to pay for it. But
Yeah.
that's okay,
Once you
because it's all in
explain,
good fun.
once you explain what you actually did.
Oh, all right, well, you know,
Well, here, you want to show?
show him the table saw over there. Now, my son has already ever so kindly lowered the blade,
Oh, here, I can
but
re-drag it for you.
I had the blade too high, and I wasn't paying attention, and I did not lower the blade to match the thickness of wood that I was cutting. The piece of wood that's leaned up there, careful son, that's probably got some of my blood on it, and
Is your blood white?
I had the...
What'd you do?
He's a Martian.
So anyway, I was cutting it, and see how the blade's way above the wood? That's totally wrong. And when son, put your hand on the back side, your left hand,
Oh, that's
It's
back
unplugged.
side, it's, yeah.
Okay.
And that's how I was working. Well, actually the wood was cut most all the way through, and my hand was, had the push stick where his right hand is, and my left hand was actually way further back, probably about there. And it kicked back and took my thumb. So, had the blade been lower and just barely above the wood that I was cutting, I probably wouldn't be subjecting myself to the torment from my son. But live and learn. And as I always tell my son, there's a valuable lesson to be learned here.
Yeah, just doing a roll of thumb will never do that again. I'm gonna pop that one as many times as I can.
Yeah, it just seems to work every time.
Every
doesn't
time.
it? All right, so what we're going to do now is we've got the car up on jack stands a little bit on the subframe to get us off the ground so we can get underneath and do what we got to do under there. Timing belt, went ahead and cut it because we're going to do all that new. This is the top of the cylinder block. We haven't really cleaned anything yet on here, but right now we have to get everything opened up so we can begin to clean the top of the block and prep it for the head to go back on it. But for right now, we have to undo this and get all, so we can lower the motor down a little bit to get all the pulleys and all the stuff off down there in the front of the motor, and because that'll have to be that way. And this piece here will have to be gone in order to thread the timing belt. And
the Japanese don't understand the meaning of the word accessibility.
Well, in this case, actually, son, it'd be the Koreans.
Oh,
But yeah. So
I didn't either until last year.
so go ahead and undo that, and we'll get those off there. Now I have the engine block supported underneath right now, so nothing's gonna fly loose when he undoes that. So
You hope.
no, I'm relatively sure on this one, Jim. All right. Now, as you see, sometimes the stud comes out, sometimes the you got a washer there too
By your foot.
and there we go. Now we've got a 13 and a 15, I believe, to thread this other piece out here. No, actually it's 14. I lied.
You want to go ahead and try to take that out?
Well, that's why you have to undo the cross bolt first. So now, if you'll kindly grab that. Oh, my bad. 2 14s. That forks fans.
And you see right here, the left thumb isn't really necessary,
Kiss my ass.
but it definitely does help. It gives that extra support from holding back here, that extra pressure on the wrench. If you'd like, I can explain the physics of this.
Well, it's a general rule of thumb.
It is.
That's not mission critical at the moment.
Get the rest of it back together and worry about the mount later.
Yeah. Well, the mount can always easily be changed from the top side. And since Nick's working on a budget, and I have to shout out to Nick here because I'm very proud of him. You know, he's paying for all this. You know, I found the car, and of course, my knowledge and labor is going into it, but you know, all the money, he's actually doing this and doing it on his own, and he's paying for it. So he deserves some props for that, even if he is a dick. Anyway. Alright. Love you, son.
No, this is a sheeting grid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll spend our money where it needs to be right now for the moment, and then we'll catch the nicety stuff later. Alright, now what we can do, son, since you're the most gentle with that, let's lower that engine down just a couple of inches. And what you saw on there where you were trying to get the socket in on that bolt,
Lower that down
will
enough.
become a non-issue.
And now you see when you're lowering the jack, the opposable thumbs.
Yeah, it helps to have thumbs for stuff like that. So.
What was it?
Anyway, the front end of the car was damaged and the airbags were deployed because they were doing like a redneck tow with a strap or something, and they ran into the back of the vehicle that was towing them. And it was just right and just enough to trigger the 2 airbags. And fortunately, we were able to find them online cheap for $100, and they're actually good airbags. They were just taken out of a junk car, and the module. Now, had we had to pay retail for the airbags, the car wouldn't have been worth it. So,
You could have just drove it around without them.
well, you know, it's that whole parental thing. You know, I'm not gonna let my son run around with something like that.
End up in the head with a coma. Whose fault is this?
What now, bitch?
Keep messing with me about my thumb.
He said before he completely passed out something about the man with no thumb. Sir, do you know anything about
Okay,
this?
son.
Yeah, I still say that.
Let's get this one off here. That's gonna be a 13.
Still say that $160 I spent on that Porta Power was worth every penny of it.
Hell yeah, it was. You got it on sale, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was another thing that burned me. We were welding for the truck, and
Oh.
I was like, son, don't touch that. Okay. And for some reason, my mind did not register don't touch, and I went to go push it away, and that was hot.
So you've been burned more than once
Yeah.
recently.
Go down there and just you're gonna have to get one hand and yes your thumb on each side of the bottom pulley and wiggle it straight out.
And now, see, folks, you can do this without opposable thumbs, which actually I'm attempting to do right now.
But it'll be notably more difficult.
Yeah, and now with the thumbs, it's still a pain. Is this something that you've been moving?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're moving it. Just keep easing it, wiggling it back and forth, and pulling towards you at the same time. It'll come out.
Yeah, that's what she said. She lied.
She lied.
Yeah.